There we are. Frog Level, Louisiana. What's going on, everybody? This is a place I've passed by probably 100 times traveling to Shreveport from where I live up in Texarkana to play gigs and just go down there and have fun back in the day, especially in the 90s. And I've never stopped and looked at it. I've asked people why it's called Frog Level and gotten 3 or 4 different answers, but the main thing is when they say when they were making the town hall here and going to name it, they heard all the frogs and they said call it Frog Level. And apparently people from Alabama and Georgia were involved in that, so they got 2 frogs up here named Alabama and Georgia. Pretty neat. This is not what we're here to talk about today, though. Frog Level is now called Rodessa, by the way. It's pretty neat. It's just a little town, kind of cool old place. I'll pan around and show it to you a little bit. But the main thing I'm going to today is a bridge that used to be like a drawbridge, but it goes up in a weird way. It doesn't work anymore. It's been decommissioned probably since the 40s. But it's kind of a historic landmark down south of here, and it's got an interesting history from World War II and stuff. So I'm heading that way to check it out. But I wanted to stop here because I've never stopped in Frog Level. Apparently O.J. Simpson's grandmother was from here, and he used to be seen around here coming to visit her quite a bit. So take it as you will. That's kind of interesting. I'll tell you though, driving by this at night, they used to, I don't know if they still do, but it would light up, and you could see these frogs, and I just always thought it was the strangest thing that a town was called Frog Level, which of course they changed the name to Rodessa, but kind of an interesting little stop on my way to where I'm going. See, the railroad track runs right behind it. This is a railroad town. They used to have a great big high school here that for about 30 years, from like the 50s to the early 70s, and then they shut it down, and now it's gone. They've torn it down. It was an interesting building. It was huge. It was a really big high school for a town this size. You can see it's not a very big town. Well, that's a picture that sums up life on the road right there. You see a lot of that, just little towns and a road running through them, man. People buzzing by 100 miles an hour and never stopping. Kind of weird. I like to stop and take a look at where I'm going and what I'm doing, but maybe I'm a strange person nowadays. Like that guy. Little table and chairs down the way here from the monument. Bird bath. Pretty cool. I gotta show you behind me. Hang on a second. If you cross the street, probably the smallest, most mobile, progressive insurance office there is. So that's kind of interesting. Anyway, I'm going to jump in my car and head back on the road here. You want to know how you know it's windy? That's a pretty good sign. My goal was to go up here and send my drone up and get some shots of this bridge, but it is far too windy. My drone is rated for 18 mile an hour winds, and that's the maximum probably. I would say anything more than 10 and I wouldn't be wanting to send it up. But if this is what we're here to see, hopefully it's not too windy for you to hear me. We're in the town of Mooringsport, Louisiana. I've been here before. This is where the blues musician Leadbelly is buried, just outside town. But this is a pretty interesting bridge. Do a little walk across it, maybe take a look and see what we're dealing with here. Got a little sign here telling you a little bit about it. I will let you pause that and take a look at it if you want to. But basically, it was built in 1914. And it's a form of drawbridge, but actually the whole center section goes all the way up. And this thing was hand cranked. A guy had to ride on it and literally crank it by hand and go up, and it had counterweights that are kind of like what the old windows had in them, those window counterweights that ran down. It had those to help balance the load out, and this guy would stand there and just crank this thing up. I think most of that mechanism is gone. It hasn't been a functioning drawbridge in years and years and years. I don't even think they used this bridge after the 40s. But the interesting part about it, and let me show you the bridge real quick. There's a very interesting thing about this bridge. I'm gonna go look at it. It's a tall sucker. In the 40s, 1941, before the U.S., when we were preparing to enter World War II, General Eisenhower and General Patton came here, and each led a small army in war games, and their goal was to capture this bridge. And I guess they felt that the terrain and stuff around here was very similar to Europe, where they would be fighting in Germany. And it was a decommissioned bridge, so they bombed it with sacks of flour. They flew over with planes and dropped sacks of flour on this bridge to bomb it, and their goal was to capture the bridge. So very, very, very interesting little bit of history here in the tiny town of Mooringsport, Louisiana. But yeah, man, I was really hoping to be able to send the old drone up there. Wasn't to be, I guess. Got some guys fishing down there. I don't know how good the fishing is today with the wind, but I don't think they'd be out here if they couldn't catch anything. So. But yeah, you can see this center section would raise up and down, and we're talking raise all the way up there to let boats through, and the bridge operator had to literally stand on this thing and crank it up. Of course, now they've paved it. I think it was narrower than this at one time too, and they widened it. But right across there, you can see over there is well, you can kind of see it. That's the original, or the new bridge that you drive across. Right there, the train bridge. Man, that water looks pretty choppy down there. There's what I was talking about with the new bridge that you drive across. Beautiful day today. Yeah, in 1941, Eisenhower and Patton came here, and they had war games in this area. That's amazing to me. And their goal was to capture this bridge, and it just blows my mind that they did that. Look at that. Let me spin this camera around real quick. There's one of the pulleys that would have been used. I'm literally standing on the section you can see right there, and it runs down. That would be the section of bridge that raised up. As you can see, it goes across. They've got this chain link there to stop anybody from making the jump, I guess. But how neat would it have been to crank this thing up? I bet it's quite a view from up there. That is cool. Very interesting. Interesting little bit of history here. So yeah, they came down here and practiced for World War II. I can kind of see why. It does have a similar kind of a landscape and look to sections of Europe, I guess. That's the Caddo Lake down there, which is really basically a swamp. It's not this part of it looks more like a lake. If you get over in the Texas side, this lake straddles Louisiana and Texas. I'm in Louisiana now, but if you cross over, you go to the Texas side of it, and it looks way more like a swamp over there. They just made a movie called Caddo Lake, and if I can ever figure out the exact spots where they filmed some of the scenes in, I might do a filming locations video. Definitely too windy for my drone today, though. I'm kind of disappointed because I was really, really hoping to send that up and get some shots of this. But there's always other times, right? Yeah, it looks like in the mid-40s, the ownership of the bridge was transferred from Caddo Parish to the Louisiana Department of Highways, and they realized there, right after that in the 40s, there was no more need for a drawbridge here. There weren't any ships and stuff, big boats passing underneath it like there used to be, so they dropped the big counterweights, apparently dropped them into the lake, so they're still down there. That would be kind of cool to dive down and see. And then in the 70s, because it was so narrow, they made it one alternating lane instead of 2 lanes, because cars got wider. Cars were real narrow originally, and then they built this second bridge in 1989. So that's interesting stuff. I don't remember if I ever came down here. I moved here in 85, and I may have came through here and driven across this bridge when it was a bridge that was in use. I know I came to Louisiana once and went across a ferry that was a scary little ferry. I think you can fit 2 or 3 cars on it. At one point, they wanted to tear this bridge down, and there was such a public outcry from the people who live around here because it's such a landmark to them that it was saved and made into a this little park area right here, a little public landmark, and I'm glad they did, because it's interesting. Now this is really funny. There's a sign saying no alcohol allowed on this little park premises, and then you've got and I think I'm gonna go buy this place and show it to you, because it is a cool little place. But it's a place called Cooter Brown's Vault, and it says cold beer delivered here. So I gotta love Louisiana. Got to love it. I'm gonna go up under here underneath this bridge and take a look at what I can see. Surprised nobody's fishing down here. Somewhere down there in that water will be the counterweights from that bridge. This, of course, is the current bridge that you drive across. Nice and lit up underneath there, though. Got those lights. That's kind of cool. I guess, though, they've got a boat launch here, so I guess if you're getting ready to leave in your boat, having Cooter Brown bring you some Cooter Brown, I love it. Having Cooter Brown bring you some beer here before you head out on the lake would not be a illegal activity. I guess they just don't want you consuming alcoholic beverages here. So that's just a nice view. That's just a neat old bridge. I love stuff like this, and I love the fact that they've kept it standing, haven't just torn it down and destroyed it, because makes a great place for people here to fish off of and just come to and chill out and relax a little bit. That's what life's about, man. Chill out and relax a little. Go see some cool old stuff. Would have been interesting back in the 40s to see a bomber flying over dropping bags of flour on this bridge. I wonder if there's any pictures or anything of that. I looked. I didn't see anything on the internet, but some of you sleuths might be able to find that better than me. It would be a cool thing to see. Wonder what that building over there is. Not a power plant or something? Used to be a swing set up here for kids to play on, but no swings now. No swinging, kids. Guess you'd have to bring your own, huh? Wouldn't want to climb that. It's a telephone antenna. That's what makes all of our cell phones work. It is definitely tall. Taller than the bridge. Well, I guess I'm going to move on. Just wanted to show you guys that. Let's see what else there is in a little town of Mooringsport. Maybe there's something cool. Hard down. I got an old caboose over here. Vote for John McAhurley, Chief of Police. I wonder if he won. Or maybe the election hasn't gone on yet. I don't know. Pretty nifty. I saw something across the road from this and I pulled into the park next to it. So I'm going to head over there and take a look at this stuff. Pretty cool stuff on the side of the road here. Some old farm implements over here. This is awfully well mowed and everything, so I don't know. I didn't see a no trespassing sign of any sort. So that's an old tractor, man. Being from Iowa, I've seen some old tractors, and that is definitely an old one. It's so rusted. You can't even tell what brand it once was. Look at the steering. The steering shaft comes straight down the hood and straight down to that front wheel. And no, it's not missing the tires. That's the wheels that would have been on this thing. It's metal wheels. A 4618D. I believe that would be a... That's hard telling, man. It might be a Caterpillar engine. That seems like one, but it could also be a John Deere. Of course, it could be anything. I'm no expert. But usually, a Caterpillar engine has a marking like that, like 4618 or 4818D. Looks kind of like a cat. Pretty neat. This is what drew my attention, though. Some kind of a gear setup and roundabout, and I'm wondering, it's like it's got to be like an old milling thing. I thought maybe at first it might have come off that bridge. But I'm sure this is just some kind of a milling deal or a roundabout for spinning train cars around or something. It's hard telling. Pretty neat, though. I'm fascinated by old machinery. I used to work on this stuff. I used to work on cranes and a lot of heavy equipment and stuff. I got pretty good as a mechanic for years in a salvage yard, and I worked on old cable-operated pneumatic, what they call pneumatic cranes. They're air over friction, basically. They have a bunch of big giant brake shoes in them, and they're very dangerous and very hard to work on, but I could do it. It was a career. About 13 years of my life. It was a rough job, man, but I did it. Pretty neat. Right behind me here looks like some old railroad bathrooms. I wonder if they're still, I think they're locked up. I'm not going in there, but it's kind of neat to see. I'll spin the camera around and show it to you. 2 women, 2 men. Got the railroad signs out. And one's locked up, the rest of them aren't, but I don't think they're a functioning restroom anymore. Kind of interesting, though. Just sitting here, so I'm guessing this property probably belongs to the railroad. It's hard telling. And as promised, told you I was going to show it to you. Cooter Brown's Vault. There's a liquor store here in Louisiana. I'm going to see if I can cross the road and head over there. Wait for this truck to go by. Or car. Gotta watch out for the water down here. It's kind of mucky. Probably heard that, didn't you? It's like a swamp around here. Get a shot of this mural. Well, that almost looks like it could be Bonnie and Clyde right there. I guess he's a big dog. That must be Cooter Brown. Get it, the big dog? Big dog, he's a... Okay. Anyway. Pretty neat. Mooringsport Water Tower. Not a very big one. But that is not a very big town. It's a beautiful day now. It was a little cold earlier, but it is nice now. Of course, you know I love me a gazebo, so this one's even wheelchair accessible. Which, as I get older, is a thing that I kind of worry about a little more and more. No place to sit in here, though. But a nice little gazebo. I talk about getting older and joke about it a lot, but I'll tell you, stuff starts happening. And then, you know, I'm 57, I'll be 58 this June. It's getting close to 60, and uncomfortably close to 60 for me. I've always been a pretty active person that likes to get around, and some of the stuff has started to slow me down a little bit between the asthma. You probably notice I breathe kind of hard sometimes. But just, I don't know, I'm still pretty lucky because I'm still above the ground, I guess, right? Mooringsport's big enough to have a Masonic temple. Kind of an odd bit of architecture in this little bitty town, but there it is. Right there on the, right behind it is the lake, so that's kind of a prime spot. On my way home from Mooringsport, and realized I was coming close to a place that was, I believe, the third video I ever made was here. And man, it's looking a little rough, but this is the 3 states marker. Let me turn this camera around and show you. It's a marker of 3 states: Texas, Arkansas, and Louisiana. Right there at the intersection of those 3 states. And here it is. And it looks like some people have been, I don't know, man, it looks a lot different than it did the last time I was here. It honestly looks like people might be chipping stuff off of it or something, which is, you know, not good. But like right now I'm in Louisiana, and if I just over there a second ago I was in Texas, and then Arkansas is up that way. Some butterflies flying around though. Did you see that? Look at that. Spring is springing here. Man, I really kind of wish they would do a little more with this. I mean, they've got a sign here, so that's kind of nice. They put up a nice sign. And showing exactly where you are. Mooringsport, where we were just at, is right down around here, and then I live right there. right about there. Which is, there's actually a 3 states at Oklahoma, Texas, and Arkansas, and I don't know if there's any kind of marker there. Maybe I should research that and see, because that might be an interesting thing to try and see. Although it's probably in the middle of a river or something, if I'm not mistaken. I think that bottom edge of Oklahoma is defined by the Red River, so I'd have to check that out. But anyway, I was just since I was in the neighborhood, I decided to stop by and have a look, and it looks like honestly looks like you could use a little love around here, man. It seriously looks like somebody has tried to chip a lot off of that and stuff. It might just be natural wear, but I kind of doubt it, because that was placed there a long time ago. friend of mine who runs the Bonnie and Clyde Museum down there in Gibbsland, Louisiana. Somebody went out to the Bonnie and Clyde ambush spot, which I've done a video on, and pried the brass marker out of the pedestal. So I don't know. I don't know why people want to go through and deface history and deface things, tear things up. But there seems to be a group of people in the world that just love to destroy things, and I don't get it. I don't understand it, but it happens. Happens a lot. I don't get it. Anyway, I'm just hoping that nobody who watches my videos decides to go out and do that kind of stuff, because it's wrong. It's really wrong, and it's just not right, man. It's not right. Anyway, I'm about to head home. Man, look at this old building across the street. It's falling down. Check that out. That place is collapsing. I don't think it was quite that bad when I was here last time. Of course, that's been, I guess, about 3 years ago since I've been here. Thought there was another sign out here too, somewhere that I walked over to and looked at that showed the 3 states, but I don't see it. I definitely have a monument showing you're entering Texas, though. But yeah, there was another sign out here. I'll have to look back at my old video and I'll post a link to it, but there was definitely another sign. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. I hope you enjoyed going to see the bridge down there in Mooringsport with me, and just checking out some stuff. I'm going to try and do videos a little more often. It's just I've been having some stuff go on that has slowed me down greatly here lately. But, the weather's getting nicer. With the time change, I've got a couple hours every day after 5 that I can do a little more stuff, so that'll be good. I appreciate you guys following along with me on this and watching me and subscribing and everything. You make it all happen, and it's a lot of fun for me. It gets me out of the house. And Ramblin' Ted saying what I always say: costs nothing to be nice, costs nothing to not deface monuments, and destroy things, and just try and put more good into the world than you take out. That's all life's about, man. Anyway, see y'all next time. Bye.